And welcome back to another episode of Off Centered, the bi-weekly show with the four horsemen of the hobby apocalypse. We are post-national. Michael Ham was so fired up and excited that he picked up a bug and is sick. So he is here, but he is battling his way through. How are we doing, guys?
Good,
boys. Ham's not the first person I've heard that is sick post-national.
Ham's patient zero. Ham got everybody.
Basically, the first time getting sick after a national. I've been to 4 or 5 now. This is the first time I got sick.
The AC national wrecked me. I was a train wreck off after Atlantic City. I got destroyed.
Didn't have anything to do with like the 8 old fashions you had.
No, I thought about having
an 8-mile walk to find pizza on the needle-infested beach.
The old fashions, and then the walks, those long walks.
You just walk in the old fashioned.
The camera feels like it's blurry. Oh well, just have to be blurry.
Ryan McClanahan, good to see you out there. Stock Jockey, Mr. Locknet, Pick 6 cards. What's going on?
Who dat?
Kevin. Who dat? That's right. Sunday we got the Chargers. We don't even know who our quarterback is yet. So it's going to be a great season ahead for the New Orleans Saints.
But you know who he's going to be next year.
That's right. Arch, baby. Everything, all roads point to Arch.
Yep.
Ben Burrows in the house. Thank you for all the good work that you do so that Neo and I have content to make each morning. So thank you, sir. Master Shaker, what's up? And yeah, the chat keeps on going. Fresh off my first national, seeing you, Neo, but didn't want to stop you. Cheers.
Oh, you should stop me.
Yeah, always stop us. We have nothing better to do.
Yeah, we were a good little a force with national content between the four of us. I got to give Ham. You guys are definitely better at it than me, but you guys, I think between all four of us, we did some pretty good coverage.
I still have like 4 more videos to go.
Ham milks the national for like 20 videos every year.
Well, I can't do the cards and cases past like 15 minutes. The retention just goes down. So, and there's so many cards. It's just, that's what I have to do.
Global has been here since 2020. I remember all the way back, Global.
I remember this.
Make sure we say hi to Shelby, who I got to meet for the first time. Met her father, Ray, and wife there. She was super excited to see me. Never really felt or had somebody react to me that way before. So that was definitely a highlight of my trip for sure. So
yeah, I was like, hey, Shelby, I'm Steve. And she was like, whatever. There's Michael Ham. There's Michael Ham.
She likes her some Charmanders
like,
and stuff.
Damn.
Annoy. I'm just going to call you Annoy because that probably makes more sense. Back to low ratings after the national 20 watching. Last week must have been a record for watching. Okay. So we actually have 102 because we're on all 4 channels. We're also on Twitter. So give us a little bit of time. Let us kind of build up a little bit.
The stream just started 5 minutes ago.
I literally just hit the button. So give us a little bit of time.
Okay.
Card Vibe had an awkward first interaction with Steve, and it was exiting the bathroom of the National. There wasn't a more awkward place in the whole damn building than the bathroom. At the bathrooms at the National, there was a guy, actually, story time real quick. I told the guys this. There was a guy that was like sweating outside of one of the stalls, and he was like, shit, like he had to go so bad. And all the stalls were taken, and this guy was just sweating. And I was like, I can't get out of here fast enough. So good news, there was no line to wait to get into the restrooms, unless you're this guy who I guess needed to go who's going number 2 at the,
if he's sweating, he had to do number 4.
I mean, it's like, buddy, like take care of that at the hotel room or whatever. But I mean, come on, man. No lines, but you had to deal with some weird stuff in there.
Yeah, I never had to wait to go to the bathroom. I thought that was really.
Oh yeah, that's why Mendoza says that's why you poop at the hotel or Airbnb and then hold it the whole day. Yeah,
exactly.
That was like last night when we were leaving the microbrewery, Ham, and we were about to go back to the Airbnb. Man, I was ready. I was touching cotton. It was like Time to go to the bathroom.
That why you were in such a hurry?
Well, I said it in my video, man. My feet were hurting and I had to take a dump.
We did have a Dakota sighting, Sports Cards Anonymous. If you
Yep.
watch hobby content going back, he hasn't made anything in probably 2 or 3 years now. But yes, we did meet him in person. He is an actual person. He's still kicking. Had a good lunch with him. It was fun.
Still buy his cards too.
Oh, off of eBay.
Yeah.
All right, let's go around here. Detroit in 2028. How we feeling about it? Ham, you go first. We'll go in a circle. The other way. That way.
I mean, I've never been to Detroit. All I've heard is bad things, so I'm super excited.
Oh, Ham's pumped. All right, Neo, Detroit.
I'm all for it. It shaves about 2.5 hours off my drive.
Fair enough. Steve, Detroit. It's so far away too.
I mean, I don't know. I've never been to Detroit either. What I can say is that Chicago has really worked it out now to where they, starting in 2020 was probably their first big influx because, they've been doing the national, but it's probably the first time that they really saw the size or the amount of people. I guess that probably 2021 or whatever it's been. But, and they've changed their logistics and like their infrastructure and things around to kind of cater to the larger crowds every year. And I feel like last year with Cleveland hosting it for the first time, there was lots of things that they could have worked on because it was them like hosting it for the first time since it's been large. And I feel like Chicago, Rosemont area has adapted to these crowds and things and really put a lot of stuff in place to make things go a lot more smoothly. So with it being in a new city, Detroit might be great and the venue might be great, but will they have all the other things? Will they be prepared for all the other things that come along with the crowds and things like that, being it the first time and not really knowing what to expect other than hearing what these most recent nationals have been like? So that's the only question.
Fair enough. I'm open to Detroit. I mean, at that point, we'll be 3 straight years in Chicago, and we'll probably be just complaining. It'll be like too good at that point where we're like finding things to be annoyed about. So why not switch it up a little bit?
I mean, I was talking to, it might have been one of the Uber drivers, and they were talking to me about that area down there, where the convention center area. And they were like, this convention center area is perfect for this convention you guys have going on. And they were talking about how they have the size of it. There's 40 plus hotels within the general vicinity. There's plenty of restaurants. There's a party area if you like a little bit of nightlife. The airport's really close. And the fact that they were also putting police out there to direct traffic and allowing people to cross the street and things like that. It really was... The city really catered to the convention this year and really helped it go a lot more smoothly. So again, that's what I say. When you go into a new city that's never hosted it before, will we see the same thing put in place?
Spurs Cards did receive his second place national giveaway card. It was pretty wicked, actually. It was a 90s Tim Duncan insert PSA 10. It's pretty smooth. He confirmed he received that this week or last. Yeah, exactly. Mendoza. You're not doing it in public. You're waiting. You're holding it.
Tim D has the question or the comment that a lot of people have. More than likely, he probably didn't go. So that's probably why his comment is what it is. I'm going to do my final national video wrap up. And really, it's debunking 5 of the negative Irvin myths about the national. And believe me, I'm not always a positive person, but a lot of people, especially content creators. So content creators are going to do national videos because that's what they need to capitalize on in the moment, regardless if they're going to the national or not, or have never been or never plan on going. They're still going to do a video about the national because that's what people cared about this weekend, right? So you're going to have content creators that put out videos out there that are full of a bunch of bullshit. Because the only way that they can talk about the national when they're not being there is in a negative light. They can't say this is
Steve coming in hot on a Wednesday.
They can't just say, hey, the national is great. There's things to do. I love to go and things like that, because then they're going to get the question of then why aren't you there? So they come out with videos as opposed to why they didn't go or why you shouldn't go, because that's the content they have to put out. And so then a lot of people get a lot of false narratives and they get fed a lot of false information because they watch content of people that either haven't attended or never have attended or don't want to attend. As opposed to just saying, I just don't want to go. It's not my thing. They come up with reasons like it's too expensive or which could be the case, or all of the people in the venue smell. They all have body odor. I mean, come on. Is this the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard? Right. So, oh, there's no girls there. Okay. Well, I don't go to meet girls at card shows. I'm just saying, but I'm just saying, I don't go to meet girls at card shows. Right. That's not what you do. Right. So again, you don't even go to a strip club to meet girls. Right. That's terrible too. But there's girls there. But anyway, again, that's just
friendly place.
You know, you find one person out of 500 that might have some body odor. I mean, you're going to find that in a casino where I work. You're going to find that in the restaurant that you're eating in. You're going to find that at a concert. You're going to find that at any venue that has a lot of different people. So I feel like I just feel like a lot of things get magnified. That's a crock of shit.
I think too, a lot of it is just what you make it to be. You know, it's kind of like, but honestly, I feel like that's in life too. It's like there's people where their expectations, they've got a list of 10 things that they want to happen at this particular event, whatever it is, whether it's a national or anything in their life. And if 1 out of 10 or 2 out of 10 go sideways, it sucked. You know, it could have been better or whatever.
For instance, for me,
literally like 8 things could have gone wrong for us probably. We'd still be like, you know what, it was fun. Like it was a great time. We got to hang out. It was a card show.
Like another thing I see is that it's all corporate and it's all breakers. Okay. Me personally, you guys know this. I don't do the corporate stuff and I can't stand the breakers pavilion. I don't have anything against the breakers. I don't have anything against people who break or anything like that. I just don't like the vibes that I get over there. It's like a college frat house and that's not me anymore, right? I'm older. But I can go the entire show and I was there for 5 days. I could go there 5 days. And if I stay in the areas that I like, I would not even know that the Breakers Pavilion was there. I wouldn't even know that a lot of the corporate booths were there because the show is that big that it has something for everybody. And if you go to the portions at the show that you like, that's all you're really going to see. And the other stuff's going to be out of sight, out of mind. But if you go looking for the corporate stuff because you want to complain about it and say, look, they're taking over, or you go to the Breakers Pavilion and you're like, there's a bunch of douchebags back here, right? Well, you went there, you know that's what's there. But there's something there that's for everybody. So again, it can be pricey because I started calculating the tab of what it costs to go to the National. So I get it. If you're just going to buy cards, it may not make sense from a monetary standpoint. But then again, if you're going because it's the start of a vacation, it's not going to cost you any more than going on a vacation anywhere else. And there's ways to budget around it. Like you can get cheaper flights. You can get an Airbnb like we did. We split the cost of an Airbnb and it saved a lot of money. So
yeah, my piece of the Airbnb was $240. So I mean, that's right. Less than one hotel room, you know. So I mean,
you can't even get a hotel room for a night.
Just as an idea for people that might be looking at it.
So the winner of my contest, I got a hotel room at the Westin, which was a short walk from the show. And
shout out
Brad. And for 3 nights there, it cost about a third more. It cost almost $1,500. That's expensive. It is expensive for a hotel. It was 3 nights. It's about $500 a night. But if sports cards and going to the National is your thing, just like someone who's going to go to Universal Studios, that's their thing. That's where they're going on vacation. Same price.
Yeah. And this is a once a year event too.
What I would say is just wrap it in with something else. Like go to Chicago area with your wife, girlfriend, whatever. Like wrap it into a weekend and go. That's what I did with Fanatics Fest. Neil went to Fanatics Fest for like all 25 days or whatever. I went for one afternoon for about 4 hours on Saturday. We went to New York City, had a great time. And then we happened to go to a show there and I got to do all the content and also got to get a feel for it. So that's another way that you can experience it without necessarily making it like a gigantic trip that you're doing, you know, by yourself.
Michael Stone, Uber rides, they varied for us. I mean, from the airport, it's pretty cheap. Airport's close. Our Airbnb was about 10 minutes away depending on traffic. And our Airbnb was 4 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, and it was almost $1,100 for 5 nights. I mean, that's pretty good, especially if you have somebody in that 4th bedroom. You split it 4 ways. We just had it 3. Some Uber rides could be $20, just depending on the demand, because when the show lets out. That's another thing. Plan smart, right? If trade night ends at 10 o'clock p.m., be ready to move your ass at like 9:20, right? Don't leave when all of trade night. Right.
People were complaining about just leaving the parking garage. It would take them hours.
I would say don't leave, just be smart about it.
Let me push back on this a little bit too. Yes, for certain tables, for certain cards, they're going to be overpriced at the National, just like any other card show. But they moved a metric ton of cards at this show. I mean, our buddy Bryant, Tampa Card Shop down there, he was on Thursday. Was it Thursday or Friday? I think it was Friday afternoon at like noon. He had to go to the trade night because half his case was gone. He had and this guy brings a ton of inventory.
Yeah.
They had sold it. So, I mean, sure, are there going to be some dealers that are 20% over comps or something like that? Sure. But there was also a lot of fairly priced cards there. There's so much there that you're going to find some dealers that'll work with you.
Yeah, but overall, I love the show. I had a great time. I mean, I'm one of those people that can't go there for 2 days. It's not enough time. I like the corporate stuff. I like walking by the whatnot stuff and kind of peeking in. I did see some interesting things while I was there. There was one thing I realized I missed when I was watching somebody else's video. And it's just because I didn't want to stay in the area for so long. So I was getting out and not really poking around like I probably should have, because somebody was doing their own custom like downtowner kabooms, but for you, where they take your picture and then they put you and print you off a kaboom. That would have been kind of cool to have versus the usual cheesy card you can get some places.
I thought they did a good job, and maybe I missed some of the others. Like maybe I missed other parts where breakers were, but I felt like they had a lot of the breaking, like the big whatnot wall and everything, and all the breakers around it. That was in like one spot. Whereas I remember 2 years ago having to walk through the middle where there was a lot of breaking type stuff going on, almost having to kind of.
Yeah, they learned their lesson on that one.
Yeah, so they actually had all the breaking kind of that stuff. It was all in kind of like one side on a corner. So I didn't have to pass through it. Like you didn't have to go through it if you didn't want to. And in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't really that big of the show. Like it wasn't a big part of the show, really. I mean, Whatnot's thing was insane. I mean, just the scale of it. But with how many, it felt like you'd go in one room and then you're out, and then there's another room and another room. It just kept on going. So it didn't.
And I did notice that the majority of the people that were excited and having fun in the Whatnot breaking area was that age range, probably 13 to 16, mainly male, that were losing their crap in there. That's what I saw the most going on in that section, at least people being interested.
What, in the breakers area?
With media badges come certain obligations to point out the shortcomings of the show. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I think that we've talked about certain things. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, kind of the new the 75 to 100 tables that they added for kind of the new dealers to come in. That wasn't great how that was set up.
It was just the layout. The people were great. The layout was horrible.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the people were good. Just the layout of that wasn't. It was strange, kind of the way they set it up.
If you told everybody that went up there, I'm pretty sure that would get 100% across the board that was a problem.
Yeah, it was too compact and too tight upstairs. And also, there's to an extent, you're always going to be able to compare or complain about some dealer pricing. I found personally, from my experience,
Tim, eBay's overpriced. I mean, have you been on eBay?
I don't get what he's saying is not what's overpriced. The entirety of the trip, the cards. If he's talking about vintage dealers, yes, they were overpriced. So that's
super correct. Rare high-end cards are overpriced. Just flat out. I don't care where you go. I mean, my show's always overpriced.
We can scroll through a billion cards that are overpriced on eBay right now.
My local show's overpriced half the time.
It's supply and demand. Hotel prices are going to be higher when they're selling out of hotel rooms. It's just the way that it works, regardless of where you go. I could say Disney World. Do you like to go to Disney World? I could say Disney World's overpriced. It is. I used to go a lot cheaper than it used to. I used to go cheaper than I could now. But it just is what it is. Like, if you didn't go or haven't been to the National, then why speak negatively about it? Because it didn't affect you. You didn't go. You
Yeah.
didn't waste your money. So why do you got to say it's a waste of money? You know, you didn't get burned in a deal because you didn't go and make a deal. So that's.
And I don't know how much content y'all have consumed since you've been back, but the majority of the people are complaining about the same, 3 or 4 things across the board.
What was it?
Well, the upstairs, people are already complaining about how the National has already basically locked down hotels to where other people can't. Like, for instance, I don't even saw where Orlando was trying to rent his room for next year at Lowe's, and they told him, no, you can't rent a room. The National already has booked the entire hotel. They booked the Embassy. They booked 4 other hotels fully. They
You mean for next year?
They're going to use those for the vendors and stuff like that. Stuff will probably come free later, but it's really odd that a presence like that can come in and basically demand to.
Well, what are you?
purchase something.
But does that mean you just have to book it through the National? Is that what that means? That you have
Right
to
now,
actually,
it's not. Right now, it's like,
outside for a room block to book.
Yeah,
yeah. Right now, you can't book it.
Yeah.
okay.
I did hear now, and Abel in Vegas says he was upset that the VIP package did not include National cards from Topps. I'm not sure what the VIP package included this year.
It was not
I
great.
did hear some people who paid for the VIP package, they weren't pleased with whatever came.
No,
with
it was
it.
not good.
They felt like I'm VIP, but I don't feel like I'm getting treated like I'm VIP, especially when it came to getting into the trade nights and things like that. Because the trade nights, they got to capacity. The fire marshal is going to cut off people at a certain head count. And then there's also VIP bracelets that go out early that the head count's already accounted for. We were lucky enough to get those, or we probably would have not gotten into some of the trade nights unless you get there really early and cut your show short. There's plenty of things that you can take away from. Well, not as many as normal, because like I said, it seems like they improve on things every year. Even when the lines got really long, they started letting people in earlier. Like they started letting people in at 8:30 instead of 9 p.m. because the lines were starting to flow out into the street and
And that's
take up the
smart that they
sidewalks and
adapted
things
to
like
do
that. So so they adapted on the fly with some things. Again, to complain and say that the second floor was just too tight and crowded, we're really nitpicking a little bit, but it is a thing.
That's not nitpicking. I mean, that shit was laid out like ass.
No, it was, but it was such a small part of the show that it didn't really affect the overall feeling of the show in my mind. I just knew that it was crowded up there, so I didn't go up there. I went up there twice. The first time it was super crowded. The second time it was a little less crowded, just because maybe the show or the timing or something of it, maybe the day. The first day we went up there was probably Thursday, and Thursday was just insane Thursday. So
Yeah.
if you use your time more wisely and you go upstairs when they first open, or you go upstairs on Sunday, or you go upstairs towards the evening when they're closing down, you could have found, it was more navigatable. Like I actually found a card for my brother up there because I was able to look through the showcases in detail the second time I went up there, not the first time.
You can find cards throughout the show every day. But I will say, if you're not there pretty much Wednesday, Thursday, you're missing a lot of stuff you just were never going to see. Stuff flies really quick.
Yeah, but a lot of the dealers are turning over inventory so fast. You're seeing new stuff that they're buying off the floor as well. Like those cases turn over fast. From the ticketing perspective, I think honestly, if you're just randomly attending, the play is just buy the 5-day early entry pass, not the VIP pass. All the VIP pass perks are mostly for autograph stuff. So if you're not doing TriStar Pavilion stuff, the VIP pass isn't worth it.
Yeah,
unless you want access to the lounge upstairs, which could or could not be an advantage depending on, if your hotel's not close or something and you want to go sit down for half an hour, then the VIP room is going to come in clutch. I mean, we used in Cleveland, we were in the VIP room all the time. In Chicago, we were never in there because we could go back to our rooms or Airbnb super easy. So if you're staying farther away, the VIP ticket might be more worth it if you just need somewhere to go chill for an hour and get off the show floor. It just depends. But for most people, I think the 5-day early entry, because really what you want is the show floor access 30 minutes to an hour earlier than everybody else. Because there's like a magic window from like 9 a.m. until like 10:30 where you could actually cover a lot of ground.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in 1977, Collectible says maybe vendors priced their stuff high because they fully expected repackers to come through and just buy them out. Most of the high pricing that I saw was more on vintage. I felt like modern and ultra modern stuff was fair. I'm not going to say it was right at comps, but I'm going to say you could either negotiate at 2 comps, or sometimes you could get something, less. And, I felt like with the vintage, it was priced and it was firm. And the 2 cards that I bought ended up being a late 70s card and a mid 80s card were the 2 big purchases I had. And I don't even know where I don't think you classify that as vintage right now. I'm old enough to not classify that as vintage, but some people do. So I'm not even really sure. But I negotiated both of those cards to close to comp, even a little bit under. So, but I felt like some of the vintage stuff was just price high.
I think it was kind of you're trying to find a diamond in the rough there, like where I got the
Yes
Topps Maze, like this vintage table, like this was priced fairly, but all of his stuff was priced fairly. So I was like, okay, I found kind of like a little diamond in the rough here where this guy's, because a lot of times you'll see that where stuff is double. Yeah, it might be double what you might see elsewhere. And then I talked about that in a video where it's like, and then the dealer's trying to sell you on eye appeal. That's the new thing with the vintage, with vintage cards. It's but check out the eye appeal. Every card's got this amazing eye appeal. It's like, dude, I'm not, like, come on, give me a break. So I think if you're really looking around,
did you tell him Jeff Wilson said eye appeal doesn't matter? Just
beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
I just showed him. I was like, watch this video, watch Jeff's video, and you'll understand. You'll understand better. Yeah, but there was definitely. I'm not gonna. I agree, Steve. There was a lot of overpriced vintage and overpriced stuff, but there was stuff in there. You just had to be able to find. You just have to dig around and find it. But that's kind of part of the fun of the National is trolling around and trying to find these guys because they are out there.
Right.
Or a trade night. You'll run into this stuff where you're like, oh shit, that's a good deal.
Well, like the Jerry Rice that I bought. That's the only Jerry Rice rookie in a PSA 9 I saw on that show. And I mean, I scoured that floor for 5 days.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
I couldn't hardly walk when I got home, but if there was another one in there might have been, but there wasn't many. And I found that one and I just felt like, man, this is the National. I've gone through all these tables and I've seen one PSA 9 Jerry Rice rookie. That tells me that, I know what the pop count is on them, but that just tells me a lot of these are not for sale. They're in collections and people aren't selling them. I did pick up the Walter Payton on the last day, Dustin. You weren't there.
I missed that.
I was really
a picture though.
I was looking for PSA 8s. I wanted a PSA 8. I wanted that was right in my price range because the PSA 9 started to push up around $4,500 to $5,000.
I'm in the same boat. I'd love to have an 8.
I was right in that soft zone of I want to spend $1,200 on a Walter Payton PSA 8. I found the SGC 8.5 and I was able to get it to about the same price of a PSA 8. I wasn't going to pay the premium for the 0.8 on it just because it was an SGC slab. That was kind of my argument. But I looked at the card inside the case. I didn't just buy the grade, and it was great looking. And I felt like the tux on the card actually looked good because it's like black, like the Bears. And the card is white. It makes the card pop pretty good. So I went with the 8.5 on that because I could always, just say, hey, I could always value it as a PSA 8 if I ever wanted to do something with it. But
yeah, nice card.
And here's the crazy thing is last year in Cleveland, I wanted a Jim Brown. And I'm like, I'm in Cleveland. I can't get a Jim Brown. And then this year I'm like, I want a Walter Payton. And I'm like, how am I supposed to buy a Walter Payton rookie in Chicago? But and this was such a super big coincidence also. This was my last purchase or second to last purchase of the National. I thought I had about an hour left. I was super rushed. I stopped and made the deal for this. Last year, leaving the National, I was super rushed and I stopped and made a deal for Roberto Clemente rookie last minute. It was almost like an impulse buy. It was the same dealer.
Oh, really?
It wasn't planned that way. I didn't even realize it. I started negotiating the Walter Payton and I looked up and I was like, man, you look familiar. He's like, yeah. And usually my son's here helping me do the deals because he has a teenage son. And I'm like, you're the same guy I bought the Clemente off of last year now. So that could have been another reason why he gave me a pretty good deal on that 8.5 because he had it marked. He had it marked over like $1,650. and I got him down to PSA 8 price. I got him down. So
Oh,
Yeah,
Bobby
you went.
Burrell there. He said he's going to go to the National next year.
Who did?
Bobby Burrell.
Oh
The
yeah,
comment
Bobby.
you had on there.
Come on down.
yeah,
I'm
and-
contemplating. I want to go to the expo. It's in
And-
Toronto, right?
Yeah, somewhere. I would like to go to there. I mean, I've never been to Canada, so
I
that'd be
mean,
cool too.
I'm in North Carolina. I don't think it's that far. Just shoot up to the expo sometime. Try it out.
Somebody asked who autographed the baseballs. The one on the bottom is Ichiro, and this one right here is Derek Jeter. And then up there's a team ball. I don't remember where it came from. Above that's a Babe Ruth fake autograph baseball.
I need a slab mag for this.
Spoilers, they're all fake autographs, Sam.
That's very possible.
We just
I
learned
I bought them all at yard sales, so it's very possible. But then again, a lot of these guys are down here for spring training, so you can usually clip these off of somebody.
Yeah, I never Dustin and Neo. I never showed you guys. I just posted on Instagram today, or I never even
No,
told
it's
you
like
guys.
I flew out and Steve bought like 20 cards.
Yeah, I never even showed. I mean, I never even told you guys that I had picked up the Ewan McGregor.
That's
He
Stellar.
knows it was an 8.
That was the last thing I
9.
bought because I didn't. I
the
still had a
blue
lot of
version
my
back
budget
there.
left. Yeah, I had seen the card like a day or two ahead of time, and I was like, I wanted it, but I knew if I bought a Babe Ruth card, it was really going to hit my budget pretty hard. So I just kind of waited. And then that last day, I had a lot of my budget left, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to get the Walter Payton. I'm still going to have a lot of my budget left, so I'm going to go over there. If
We're
that's
twinsies, Steve.
yeah, I was like, if that's still over there, then I'm going to run back and get it, and it was still there.
I spent quite a bit on Ubers. If I'm looking at the whole 3.5 days, I probably
Yeah.
spent $150, $180 something on Ubers. I spent a fair amount on Ubers, but I did a lot of. Honestly, it was like just planning on my part where I'm like, you know what? It's a $12, $15 Uber ride. So I felt like going back for a couple hours to the place. I could have done that cheaper if I wanted to, but I was just kind of like, you know what? Screw it.
Mendoza, that Jerry Rice is a PSA 9.
Yeah.
Yes, what grade that was.
Ben, you could have stayed. We had a fourth bedroom. I mean, there was like a tiny little kind of like single bed in there. It would have been
Definitely a single.
Yeah, it would have been tight, but you would. I don't know how much. Maybe you didn't pay, but if you had to, it would have been cheap for sure. No haunted Airbnb this time, other
No.
than
Well,
There's
maybe
some screens.
Creaky. The floor was still creaky.
yeah. Detroit Rock City.
Dustin, since you've been to both, if you could only go to one for a day, would you go to Fanatics Fest or the National?
One for a day. Man, it sucks because they're like completely two different trips for me. Fanatics Fest is cool to go.
I'm just
do.
saying the show, like factor
Yeah.
out like the ancillary stuff.
I would go to the National for one day over Fanatics Fest, just because there's too many. It was fun seeing people at Fanatics Fest, but there's just way more, whether it be content creators or company people or friends, viewers, friends. It's at the National, so I would choose that over. And look, the actual card show is just massive compared to Fanatics Fest.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You can't cover the National in one day.
No, can't cover it in one day. But if you're just telling me you got one, it's like going to Rome. You can't cover Rome in one day, but would I go to Rome over most places? Yeah, probably. Yeah, I just squeeze in what I can. So I'd say the National, at least for now. But for you, I think you had a media credential or something where you could go get up and watch LeBron James talk or something. If I was a big LeBron guy, then that would be really cool. That would be a huge draw. It's just that at that event, there wasn't anything in like the sports fan fest thing. And you're also a big wrestling guy. And I'm kind of like, meh, if Drew Brees was there on a panel, that'd be kind of cool if I could get up close to it. But I mean, for me, there wasn't enough there to make it worthwhile for one day. I'd go to the National.
Yeah, Ryan makes a good point. He says the National was totally overwhelming and information overload. I did feel, and this is my third time in Chicago National. There was one day, maybe it was Thursday. Then again, I went back to the Airbnb to take a break because Thursday I was just feeling kind of meh about the show, but it wasn't so much the show as I was just feeling that way. I think I said in my video, Thursday tends to hit me like that every year at the National, but there was a little bit of sense of overwhelming for me because I kept seeing stuff that I wanted early. And I know you're supposed to buy, if you see something that you want, buy it, or you might not see it again. But if you go there and you kind of have a budget, it's kind of like, well, if I might see something I like better. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I really like that. I want to buy it. But what if I buy it and then I see something that I like better? And then
It's
you
kinda
don't,
like-
then you don't find that card that you like better, and you go back for the other card and it's gone. And Ludex had the interactive map, which is super helpful because sometimes it's really tough to be like, okay, I saw a card. Now I got to figure out where I saw it. I got to backtrack my way to it. I also sent text messages out to you guys. We're in group text. I'm like, hey, if you spot a Mark McGuire definitive patch, let me know. Right. So we were on the lookout for each other. Neo got the Lord of the Rings card just because by chance. He didn't bring that up at the National, but because we talk and because I watch his videos, I knew that was a card that he likes. So when I saw it, I was like, okay, I got to tell Neo where this is at. So again, yeah, it's you covering the floor by yourself. But if you're with a group of friends that kind of know what we're looking for, you also got, other people on the lookout for you. So that can be really helpful. But
it's kind of like being at Toys R Us when you were a kid. When you were talking about it, it's like they've got the huge wall of action figures. There's 3 different aisles, and you don't know what, your parents are like, you can pick one. And then you've got like, you're trying to figure out which one you're going to get. That's kind of like how this is almost. You're hunting around, and that's really a big part of the fun is making those decisions. And like you said, we all kind of know what each other's collect. So you're sending each other pictures of stuff. Hey, what do you think of this or that? It's fun.
And Tim D makes another comment. And again, I'm not attacking Tim D. I don't know him, but this is another, I think, misconception that people get from the National. He says the National is overrun by influencers. You would think that is a very, but I mean, that's an assessment that could be made if you're not there. That it would seem that way. I get that. I see Jeff Wilson one time. He wasn't even filming. He was walking through. I seen Gary Vee one time at a trade night. I seen Card Collector one time, Card Collector 2 one time.
It just sounds like that's who they watch.
Yeah, I didn't see many cameras. No, there was a lot of content being shot, but that floor is so big and you're so focused on what you're doing, especially if you're hunting a card, that you don't even, you really don't see it. And there's a lot of content coming out of the National. I get it. There's videos all over the place. So it can give the appearance that there's just cameras and influencers and content creators everywhere, but really not. And even when I shot my video, I just shoot with my phone. So I just look like somebody who's FaceTiming or something. You can't even tell that I'm doing content when I'm doing it. And I'm walking on my own doing it, or I find a corner so it's quiet because I don't even have a microphone. So that's a fair assessment to make. Just generally thinking, but honestly, if you go to the floor, it's really not. Like it's really not.
I agree with that. A camera didn't bump into me once. Mm-hmm. I never noticed anybody with a camera.
I never had to get out of anybody's way because they were shooting film or nope.
I never seen Gary walking around and he didn't even have a camera with him. I ran into Gary Vee upstairs and he was just by himself.
I didn't see Roth filming at all. I saw him sitting down making a deal with somebody, but I didn't see him filming at all. A lot of the bigger channels and things like that, I did not see. Like I said, I saw Jeff just walking through, and Jeff shot content constantly. And I've seen him one time and he wasn't even filming when I saw him.
A lot of people were doing content at their booths. Like Card Collector 2 was recording a bunch, but mostly it was at his booth. I did see a lot of cameras, though. There were cameras everywhere. I didn't see like massive things, but a lot of people have like the smaller setups.
Yeah, I didn't even notice. But a lot of times, your head's down a lot of times looking at cases,
Yeah, so like me. You're going to see what you're looking for.
Yeah, it's true.
And that sounds cliche, but you're going to see what you're looking for. If you're going there looking for cards, you're going to find cards. If you're looking there going for high prices, you're going to see the high prices. Like I work in a casino and people on the dice table, people say every time the stick man changes, the dice 7 out. But that's not true. It happens every now and then. But because they say it, when it happens every now and then, it's in their mind that it happens all the time. but the odds are 1 in 6. It happens 1 in every 6 times. So, but the mentality of it is you're going to see what you're looking for.
Yeah.
All right. So what Farhad is saying is, why go to a card show? Everyone can just get together and hang out. And it's like, so yeah, I get that. Hey, Steve's come to my house. We've been to each other's houses. Steve went down to Tampa too to hang out with him. Neo doesn't ever invite us to his house, but that's okay. Maybe we'll one day get an invite. That's all right.
Got a lot of room in that basement.
Neo's got bodies down there. He doesn't want anybody coming over to the house. Management team was worried that people would walk right through that upstairs area and those dealers wouldn't have any foot traffic. Instead, they had the opposite problem. Yeah, there was a lot of foot traffic. If we're talking about that upstairs spot where it wasn't really planned out very well, there was still a lot of people going up there.
My thing is, if this is going to keep growing, which it obviously should based on statistics, can that building handle next year?
They have that whole upstairs room they could use.
I mean, do they need to change the way they let people in? Because obviously they started letting people in early because they didn't have really a choice. But I don't know if there's a different way to structure it. Does Wednesday become a full day instead of a half day?
The
Stuff like that.
If you let people in at 9 a.m. and people start lining up at 8 a.m., and that's something that you can't control when people start lining up, then it's just going to form a long line. That's going to happen at every venue you go to. Yeah. The line is not
there are also issues with parking as well.
I'm just saying the line isn't the fault of the venue. The line is people coming early because they don't want to wait in line, therefore causing a line.
And they get there and then wait in line.
Right.
Because at one point we left at 11 o'clock to go to that lunch at the barbecue place, and that was still a filed line coming into the building that opened at 9. So, and it's because more people are coming to it, obviously. It's not the same people that have been waiting that long. It just feels like that. But it's just crazy to kind of like see that line continually still moving, still forming, and you're already 2 hours, 2.5 hours into the show. It speaks a lot for the amount of people that are interested in this hobby now. Even if we don't like modern stuff and the different things that happen, it is popular.
There was an older gentleman that was sitting in a chair behind me against the wall of the convention center in there. And I overheard him say, he was talking to his buddy and he's like, man, this was a lot more fun 25 years ago. I think it was just like, he's like, probably because 25 years ago, there was like 1/50th of the amount of people that were there. I think he was just like exhausted looking at, how busy it was.
So I have 2 comments. 77 Collectibles asked about the guessing games that I had in my videos, which I was going to talk about in my final wrap-up video. And then Tim D has another one about the influencers. All they talk about is the deals and the money aspect, nothing about collecting. So I want to know what your definition of influencer is. Are you categorizing influencers as just content creators in general? Or are you talking about the influencers as being the big propped up people in the hobby? Because if you're just relating it to content creators, there's tons and tons and tons and tons of content creators that just talk about collecting. And to be real, in order to collect, you got to make deals and you got to spend money. So it all goes hand in hand. 1977 Collectibles. So the guessing games I had was my 7-Eleven cost. That was $72. Brad's case, I believe, was $5K plus the 2 cards. Plus he got to keep his best 2 cards from his case.
And then he got a free case since he won the giveaway.
What was my other guessing ones in there? I'll give you the answer if you drop them in the if you drop them in the thing.
Did any of y'all eat at the National? I know I had the Pokeball.
No, I went back to the room or we went to lunch or.
Yeah. I had the Pokeball. It was the same it was 2 years ago. It was $18. So I don't know. I mean, it's not cheap. Well, listen, it's not cheap. Well, it's nothing around there is cheap. I mean, think about it. Everywhere we went to eat.
I missed the Pokeball twice. I don't know how I missed it. I wanted one of those.
It was up against the wall, and it was really good. I mean, every year.
It was right by Brian Gray, like if you turned your back.
Yeah, it's right behind it. Because the place next to them was serving basically an open bag of Doritos. Then they would pour this white cheese in there, and then they'd stuff it with all the beef and everything and make like a taco bowl out of it. That's probably why that guy was waiting outside the bathroom with such a frantic look on his face. I took a video of that, which will be in one of my videos.
Well, he probably
And,
put hot sauce on his.
I don't know. It was bad. So I videotaped it. And as the guy's putting stuff on, I go, that's not going to end well.
QB chatter hype. Did we hear anything? I didn't feel like there was any. I mean, there was definitely QB cards
I
there.
didn't think the football hype, like it had been in the past, had really gone into this national. I felt I didn't see a lot of Jaden Daniels good rookie cards. If I did, it was super high price. I didn't see the middle stuff. I didn't feel like there was a ton of Luka. I didn't feel like there was a ton of LeBrons. It's like either it was really high or it was just like the basic stuff, like that middle stuff that even I see here in Tampa. I didn't see.
I've seen a lot of LeBrons. I think the general consensus, especially in a lot of people's videos, where there was not really any hot names at the National this year. There wasn't in comparison as normal. With that being said, I was able to sell every Bryce Young card that I had because you're really, with repackers buying things up, it doesn't necessarily, there's not going to be a popular ultra modern day prospect type quarterback that's any more popular than the other because the repackers are making them all equally relevant.
So do you think, Steve, that because there's just so many buyers there at that show that kind of the flip game didn't get as very much content because instead of like filming instead of doing the flip, why not just go to Brian Gray and get 95% or whatever?
Well, that's what I did. I took
my, I did too.
Filmed my deal, but Brian Gray bought every Bryce Young slab that I had to put in his repacks.
And shout out to Brian Gray that he
and CJ Stroud.
He pays strong, like regardless of what you think of him or whatever. He's boisterous, loud, whatever. I like Brian, but
he had to be cross-eyed by the end of that thing because he was sitting at that table every day going through stuff, just dropping cash like it was going out of style.
Well, here's the thing: I get the feeling though that even if Brian Gray wasn't there, it would not have been a problem to move any quarterback from the last 3 years that's a starter at this show because there was plenty of other buyers. Brian Gray just happened to be the buyer that we went to. But there was so many people buying. And even my Caitlin. So I had the Caitlin Clark card. You would think she would have been one of the most popular names at the National with the way that she's been popular in cards all year. Brian Gray didn't want my Caitlin Clark card. Now he gave me a reason. I'm not going to spoil that reason. He's going to talk about that himself.
I think he bought mine. I think he bought mine just.
He bought yours just because you got the influencer deal. But
and I heard there was influencers cutting Brian Gray's line.
Yeah, I had to wait.
Yeah, Brian Gray did let me cut the line.
You see, so that's what separates me from Dustin, guys.
Away, peasants.
That's right, guys. I'm just like you guys in the chat. Man. I still wait in line. You know what I mean? Dustin gets the cut.
No, I didn't think he was.
He's just like them in the chat with his media badge and his 18 wristbands for trading.
The only reason I get a media badge is because I give away a trip to the National.
That's fair.
So I deserve it. 5 years in a row. And I've only gotten a media badge twice. But anyway,
back taste the salt from here.
But back to Caitlin Clark, right? I then took Caitlin Clark to the booth where I bought the Jerry Rice. I wanted to use it as trade, half cash, half Caitlin. Half cash, half Caitlin for the Jerry Rice. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, "No, I'm not interested in your Caitlin Clark." So again, I'm like, okay, but I go right to the booth behind him, and that person's like, "How much?" I'm like, "Give him my price, cash." You know what I mean? So there was a buyer for everything in the room, pretty much.
And it wasn't like you had to take the first deal either. You could literally go back to people.
Right.
So everybody was freely moving cash.
Pop culture was popular. I heard people talking about pop culture cards like crazy, and the pop culture tables always had people looking. Now, whether or not people were buying, that could be a different thing. But a lot of people found the cards interesting because they were different.
I think Jeff said he got pretty much wiped out. He's the one that had like the Ryan Reynolds and the he always has super nice stuff.
Yeah, there's so few people that have nice stuff like that. You're going to attract all the attention.
I see that he posted on IG that he sold pretty much his entire showcase.
Right. And not only
he has high-end stuff.
WWE was also popular as well. And so when you go to a big show like that and you specialize in something that not a lot of people are specializing in, you can make sales, right? WWE was popular. Not to say that lots of tables had it, but the tables that did have it sold out of it. And I sold on the first day, Thursday, what did I sell? Like 10, 12 WWE slabs. I sold $1,000 worth of WWE slabs to boom, just like that, to the same dealer in one day. And then, but Hulk Hogan, that was a popular name. That's one thing that's kind of slipped everybody's mind. Hulk Hogan was talked about a lot. His cards were out everywhere. His memorabilia was out everywhere. Pictures, posters was out everywhere, more so than any other national I've ever been to. So if I was to say that there was a name that was any more popular than any other year, it would have been Hulk Hogan at this national.
And then to Jeff's question here, most people had their stuff stickered, even if it was on the back and they could look at it real quick. Never really ran into too many people that didn't have something stickered. They did a really good job with that this year. We had a really good idea. What majority of people, there's obviously some here and there, but no, I think this year was pretty easy to notice what somebody wanted for something at least.
Yeah, for me, I take a quick look if there's no prices. If there's something rare or something that looks interesting in the case, and that's worth asking about. Otherwise, though, I just keep moving. If there's no prices, I don't really bother. There's at the national, there's a zillion tables, so it's kind of like if it's not something special in there, then I'm just gonna move on if there's no pricing.
It's also tricky at the national because the dealers are so busy. It takes a lot longer to get their attention just to ask the price on something.
Yeah.
At $950, Mark, it's all right if you want to disagree. He says he does not believe that deals and collecting have to coincide, but you have to. I mean, if you're buying the cards that you collect, it takes a handshake, right? That's a deal to make the purchase. Or if you're selling to fund your collection, which not everybody does. That's what I am. I'm a hybrid flipper collector. I flip to build my budget to collect. Some people just got it like that. They just spend their regular old bankroll on cards. But at the end of the day, you're still making a deal for the card. Even if you go up to the table and say, I'm willing to give you full sticker price. Here's your money. Give me the card. It's still a deal by definition. But I'm going to guess you try to get a little bit off the sticker price. I don't know. At least that's the way I look at it. Maybe I'm wrong.
Never hurts to ask.
Oh man, I wish you would have said, "Hey, Tube Nachos." I feel like Tube Nachos has been around since the beginning. That's a 2020 username for sure. Next time. I'm way behind on chat, guys. So just holler.
I didn't. I don't know. I didn't see Jeff greeting people entering the show. I saw Mojo doing that last year.
You're on like last week's chat from.
I'm at 9:36. So
I'm looking at 9:51 because it's 9:56. So what I'm looking at, I'm 5 minutes behind. But
I'm gonna try to zip through here.
Yeah, trigger finger F1 is still a thing. Very few people had F1, but one of the tables that I saw that did have F1, he was moving cards. But he had nice stuff. He had high-end shit. That was expensive stuff, but people didn't have a problem paying $800 to $4K for a card there. But there was nobody else there selling it either. So
I'll say this:
Steve soccer was completely off-site.
Steve talks about, and people talk about a West Coast National. One thing I really want to go to the West Coast Card Show and go to Burbank. So I think that West Coast Card Show is just going to keep getting bigger. It's not going to be the national, but as far as it just being a giant card show, it's probably going to be just continue to grow, be pretty badass. So I don't know if I'm going to make it in 2025, but that will be a show I get to in 2026. Go see Rob and the gang in Burbank and go to the West Coast Card Show. Okay. This is what Tim said like 20 minutes ago. We covered that. All right. MW has put this comment like 7 times. Yeah. Neo might have to bounce in an hour so he can do an interview at midnight like last time. Yep. Don't forget the PSA code. Spread the word, friends. Spread the word on the SCD 25. Good job, guys. Good job. First time submitters.
There could be a reason why Pokemon seemed to have a smaller presence than expected. And that could be because
the dealers don't have access to the show floor.
It could also be the size of the show. If you go to a Philly show and you see 5 Pokemon tables, it seems like there's a lot of Pokemon in the room. If you go to Chantilly and there's 8 Pokemon tables, you're like, man, there's a lot of Pokemon here. If you go to like the small Raleigh show that Dustin goes to and there's 3 or 4 Pokemon tables, you're like, wow, there's a strong Pokemon presence here. But if you go to the National and there's 50 Pokemon tables, it doesn't feel like anything. So, in comparison and ratio to the size of the show, it's going to dwarf it. It's going to make Pokemon feel like it doesn't have much of a presence. Plus, Pokemon just kind of growing in the sports card world in popularity. This is going to be the first time that it's really going to make itself into a national with any presence. And a lot of these dealers that are already grandfathered into the national probably are basically sports cards. But I saw enough Pokemon to say that, man, there was a decent Pokemon showing at the show. And I didn't even look for it. I just remember passing tables because they're tables I'm not interested in. So
There was more than last year, but I think people were expecting it to be like 50% like their local shows.
Yeah, like a normal show. Yeah, there's probably like a 5% footprint on Pokemon there.
Sasha T was 100% there. He made a cameo in one of my videos.
Sasha T was there because I saw him in the airport when I landed. He was at his baggage claim when I was going to my baggage claim.
Yeah.
So I knew
I was filming Scotty B and Filmington doing a deal at a table, and Sasha was in the background. I panned over. I was like, random Sasha T sighting.
I don't know if this is a joke from Mark, but we also did get some, I think it was Ben Burrow, shout out to Bennett Collect, and the Card Ladder folks said that it was like a $308 million July, and that breaks like March's record for online spending. And that's just what they're tracking. That's not even, obviously not all of it. Plus it's not private deals and show. That doesn't even account for all the tens of millions of dollars that were transacted at the National. So yeah, the secondary market, maybe not every card, but my Bobby Hebert cards aren't flying off the shelf. Although I do have a Jim Everett card, Steve, that I'm watching on the Jim Everett cards are flying now. But man,
I saw 2 Bobby Hebert autograph cards when I was digging through a box. They were both $10, but one was numbered out in 99 and one wasn't. I was like, they're both still $10. I was like, okay.
I mean, there was a lot of sales. I mean, how many dealers did we see on Thursday that we went back to on Saturday? And they just had gaping holes in their showcases, and they were trying to buy inventory off people, and they were putting cards out of their bargain bin boxes just so they could fill their showcases.
And these guys bring a ton of inventory. Like they plan for this all year. They have like a ton of inventory that they bring and still ran out.
I mean, realistically, no dealer should have had a bad show, unless you're like selling the baseball bats and the gloves. And who knows, you might have sold a $5,000 item the first 5 minutes. I don't know that, but from a card standpoint, the amount of holes that were in cases and then people that would go through cases. I know one of the guys from Tampa on Thursday, somebody came and bought his whole case out. And he was like, nah, I guess I'm going to walk around and buy stuff because I don't have any cards left.
What's kind of too bad about the YouTube hangout that Crazy Kev is talking about, and this is mainly the vintage collectors that get together on Thursday. This is Mike, baseball collectors thing that he does. The thing that's too bad is this really got ruined, Steve. The first national after COVID, when we were in the Lowe's Hotel and there was 10,000 people in the lobby. That's where I bought that Freeze card that you showed me. And there was, it was a trade night in the lobby of that Lowe's Hotel. And ever since that first national, I feel like they're like, this is not ever going to happen again.
Well, they've locked it down. They shut the trade nights and stuff down. Now
they've locked it down.
This wasn't the Lowe's.
But this isn't a trade. These guys are just hanging out. This is not they're not even really like looking at cards. And
here's what I understand though, because Tuesday, what night was it? Wednesday night, the night you came into town, Dustin. We went to the gathering at the Ashburn, which is the bar in the Lowe's Hotel. And we were in there, and it was pretty crowded in there, but everybody was just hanging out in there, talking, drinking, having a good time. There was no cards out. There was no cards on the floor. People weren't setting up tables, anything like that. And we stayed in there almost until they closed down. And we were in there late. They had no problem with it. They wanted the business. From what I understand, the other one was at the Embassy. So it was a different hotel, not the Lowe's. And along with the YouTube gathering going on, from what I understand, is there was also cards pulled out and cards present and people starting to somewhat turn it into, and I'm not saying it was the people that were here for the YouTube meetup, but there was others that were starting to get their cards out and things like that. And the hotel was like, no, this is for our hotel guests. If you're not a hotel guest, you have to leave. So,
So really what this needs to turn into is like a dress-up party. This should be like a Halloween party so that you're not a card guy. Because once they figure out that you're card people, then it's like you're shut down. So the
Yeah,
vintage
they
guys
were telling.
together,
they
the
were
vintage
telling me
guys
you
need to
can't-
put together like a costume party, and have no cards there, and just hang out and chat wherever they're going.
I know the hotel person told Mike that no sanctioned events can go on without the Nationals' approval. That if it's related to cards.
If it's
Like you're
related to
saying, if you
cards.
just tell them it's not cards, we're
Right.
here for,
Make it a
certain
black tie
conventions.
event. Everyone's suited up. It's for
We're just hanging out. I mean,
we're just
it's-
hanging out. We're here for a wedding, whatever.
I mean, what if all of us went down for, what if 100 of us went down to get deep dish pizza? They would just seat us. They wouldn't say, no, you guys can't come in here because you're all from the same card show.
Yeah, that was kind of the complaint with the pull of the National and that these days being able to dictate what everybody can do realistically.
But
then
back-
that thing-
All it means that they just have to go off site. They just have to rent
Yeah.
a space. That's it.
Yeah,
Well,
that's the soccer. They did that soccer show down the street. No one said shit about that.
Yeah, and that was for a couple days actually. It wasn't just one day.
Yeah, that was like a whole thing. There was trade nights for that. There was show hours for that.
Yeah. So obviously it will happen next year. I'm sure Mike and the gang will just plan it out differently. I'm certain it'll happen again next year.
Oh
So
yeah, he
Matt
already
H says there were 500 people in the lobby of the Hyatt every night.
Yeah, they had an ongoing trade night going on there, and the Hyatt wasn't really shutting that down. What are you going to
yeah,
do?
I
You
mean-
walk around the elevator, leave, and they're just going to stay there?
I mean, they could do what the Lowe's did the one year and just call the cops. The people got out of there.
I mean,
real quick
yeah,
that
that's
year.
what happened with the Lowe's. Lowe's called the cops to shut it down because what they can do is they can say that if you're not a hotel guest, you need to leave, and if you're not, then you're trespassing or you're loitering. Then they have charges they can bring up against you. So if you're like if 500 people there are all hotel guests, and they have a right to be in the lobby, but if half of them aren't hotel guests, then they don't have a right to be in the lobby. So hotel management can enforce what they want to enforce.
This is a good question. I guess we could all answer it. What excites you more, the thrill of the chase, looking for cards at the National, or seeing old friends and meeting new ones? For me, this is probably equal, to be honest. I like running around the National and looking for diamonds in the rough, looking for little gems, things that are cool. But then also, like, you can't beat the networking and hanging out with guys that I don't get to see enough. But how about for you guys?
For me, it's the people.
Yeah, probably seeing their
It's-
friends and meeting new people.
Yeah, well, this goes back to the cost of the National when people saying that it's expensive. So again, this is the whole reason, and it can determine whether or not it's too expensive or not. And for me, I can't pick one of these over the other, because I wouldn't pay the prices that I pay to fly out there and to stay just to hang out with my friends. And I don't mean that in any way towards any of these guys. I would just choose a different way to hang out with them, right? I wouldn't get an airline ticket and 3 or 4 nights in Airbnb to go hang out with my friends, unless we were in like a tropical island or something, not Chicago. And then I wouldn't just fly out there because I'm hoping to get a good deal on a card. That wouldn't make sense. It'd be counterintuitive. I'd be spending money to try to save money. So it has to be the combinations of all things that make it worth the trip.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to look at some cool cards. I'm going to see some cards. I'm going to shoot some content. I'm going to get to hang out with my friends. We're going to eat some food. It's going to be chill. There's going to be hustle. There's going to be headache. It's going to be all of it. There's going to be a whole thing. Me and Ham even found a gym and went and worked out because I didn't want to get behind on my routine. So for me, it has to be everything together, or it's not worth me to put up the prices that it costs to go. So when people say that it's too expensive to go, it just kind of depends on what direction you're coming from. It's not cheap to go. I guess is it worth it to go? To say something is expensive or cheap is relative. It's kind of like, is it worth it? Is it worth it?
Simon, shout out to Simon466 Cards, great YouTube channel. We saw you at the Tiki Bar the one night. I don't think I saw you on the show floor, but anyway, good seeing you at the Tiki place. So Simon says it's crazy they only had 4 to 5 lines open to scan QR codes and grab wristbands. Yeah, the general admission, and that was something maybe they could have opened up more lines. I'm wondering if maybe they did that because they wanted to kind of slow roll people coming into it. But it did feel like they could have opened up some more lines. Maybe that's something that they'll look at for next year. But yeah, totally, that might have been part of the bottleneck.
All right, and I'm on the show floor a few times.
Oh yeah, there's some people I didn't see at all, and then there's some people I saw.
Yeah, you like run into the same
seen it
people
10
5
times.
times, and then you just never see
Yeah.
other people at all.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
All
all
right.
in if you find value in it. Like Abel in Vegas says again, and we mentioned this kind of earlier, Disneyland is expensive, yet he still goes because he enjoys it. And at the end of the day, it's worth the money that he spends to go. That's not saying that it's cheap to go, but it's worth it for him to go. And that's going to be different for each individual person.
Oh, look at Brendan Ryan off the top rope. What are comps for memories? Woo!
Woo!
Deep thought.
Damn.
See, like I won't go to Disneyland because it's a giant waste of money.
Put
I'm
that
not
on
going
a
to pay to
t-shirt.
stand in line
Brendan-
to get to
Brendan's
ride 4
a-
rides for a day.
And so let me shout out Brendan Ryan. He is also our thumbnail guy. So the one that, I mean, he makes a lot of thumbnails for all of us, for me, definitely. But then the off-centered with all of us with the Dumb and Dumber Lloyd Christmas haircuts, that is thanks to Brendan Ryan in the chat. So shout out to Brendan. He has always been coming in clutch with the thumbnails. And yeah, absolutely.
Brendan's my dimensional guy. Me and him go into chats that y'all don't go into and watch different things that y'all don't know anything about.
You guys are in the upside down together?
We are in the upside down together, actually. Yeah.
True collectors
That's the best way
want
to put
bang. True collectors want bang for their buck, especially in this economy, no matter where they get their cards. Or you could say true collectors will go to any ends on earth and pay any amount for a card that they truly want.
Good point. Good point.
So
I had a
definition
great
of true
time at this
collector.
show. I mean, each show's different for us, and it's always full of memories. I mean, I always have fun. So
I saw some Steph Curry. There certainly was, but in abundance, I wouldn't say so. Honestly, I can't think of anyone in abundance. You know, I felt like I felt like there was really good variety at this show.
vintage was in abundance. I mean,
It always
I
is.
saw a
Like
lot
that.
of 52 Manos.
I still thought there was tons of modern though, too. I
Saw
didn't
a
think
lot of Jordan rookies. Or
there's no shortage of modern.
Actually, the more and more I read that statement that I just read, with me being a flipper and a collector, I actually look for more bang for my buck when I'm looking for something that I want to resell, because that's what makes sense. Buy it as cheap as I can so that I have room to make margins on it. And if there's something that I really, really want, sometimes I don't even care if there's a comp on it. I want to buy it. I bought the Fred Rogers autograph. There was no comp on this. The guy basically
There's no comp on this.
Right. The
There's no
Fred
comp.
Rogers, Mr. Rogers autograph. There was no comp on
No,
that. I
my
couldn't
card.
find a comp on that. The guy had it priced, and I was just like, that's your price? Will you knock $100 off? And he was like, sure. But I was going to buy it regardless if he knocked it $100 off or not, because I wanted it as a collector.
Yeah, that's not it's I definitely don't feel like that getting a 52 maze. I'm a really small, tiny little fish as far as people buying trading cards right now. So yeah.
Yeah, and I was watching a guy drop, $10,000 stacks on a table to buy vintage.
Didn't see a lot of F1 trigger finger. I didn't see a lot of fiery content around F1 cards.
That's why I responded to that comment earlier.
Oh, you
That's
already
true, Tim
responded.
D. That's true, Tim D. That goes
Yeah.
for anybody.
Any
Flippers
good
or
comments
collectors.
assumed we already talked about,
Yeah.
Dustin, because we've been answering them as we go
Yeah, it
while you're
says-
reading 3 hours behind.
I'm
Because
not
Tim
listening
D's-
to the guys mostly. I'm just
He
reading.
says they better not cry when they overpay, and that's a true statement, because that's someone's decision to buy something, to put the money out there. It
Bazooka-
is someone's decision.
Bazooka Tom has the Rona too. So does Michael Ham. I know. That is definitely one thing.
They
This
have
week.
that
I've
now?
gotten quite a few DMs of people saying that they're sick.
Dude, I shook hands with Bazooka Tom. I talked to him. So you must have got it
You're already-
after.
You're
or
already
maybe-
immune.
or
I think
yeah.
Petty gave it to me. I blame Petty.
Oh, was Petty sick too?
Yeah. That's why he kind of bailed out of the national off the first day and a half.
Tim, are you just sick or do you have COVID?
I'm gonna say I'm gonna have COVID. I haven't been tested for it, but I kind of know what it is. So,
Dude, I stayed at
Based on the-
Airbnb with you all week. We were in a car together.
You gave it to me. I don't know who was the carrier. I was
Yeah,
around
you guys,
like
like, made out?
I'm
250,000.
good. I'm all good, baby, you know?
You talked to me
I
next
feel
week.
I feel great.
I'll be heaving tomorrow.
It hit me when I was on the plane. It hit me. I was like, "Oh shit!"
I'm immune. I'm like Bruce Willis on Unbreakable.
Yeah, me too. When I was on the plane, it hit me. And I was like, oh, shit. And I went and took a shit. I was fine.
You actually just emptied it out there, Steve. You had it and you just emptied it. Shout out to Midlife Greg. We met Midlife. I never met Midlife Greg in person. Good to meet you.
Me neither. Yes, it was good to meet him. I was
Yeah, we met
surprised
him
that he watched
for
my
one show,
videos. He
brother.
told me he watched my content.
No, hopefully he's still here.
I watched his.
He commented 15 minutes ago, so hopefully he hears this.
Yeah,
so he's still here.
I know. Dustin's way behind. I'm trying to stay up with.
But when
what's
somebody
on my
overpays
screen.
for a card over a last comp, isn't that how things go up over time? Somebody has to keep overpaying.
I mean, if that comp is documented,
That's how that normally works, right?
if the comp's documented, people. What is a comp? A comp is what people see on eBay or
It's the
across
last.
multiple.
It's the last visible sale.
Across multiple like platforms. If you use
Yeah,
130 point, it's pulling from like 4 or 5 different auction sites, but it's not taking into account show sales or private sales or
Correct.
anything like that.
Which
So,
a lot of times those guys can get over comp. You know, I've seen guys that do the repack pay over 100% on a Kaboom, especially a gold one.
well,
This is
they're not
crazy.
selling the card, but they're not turning around and selling that Kaboom as an individual card. They're putting into a pack that they're marking up into a
I
profit
agree
margin.
that they're creating a new.
So it's
comp.
a whole different buying mentality. It's a whole different. If you're buying something to collect, pay comp, pay over comp if you want the card bad enough. If you're buying
Yeah.
something to flip, you got to get in under comp because you're not going to be able to sell much over comp unless you find the right collector. So if you're
Well,
trying to
there's
say,
cards that are still going to go up over time, and somebody has to keep paying more for that.
but if you're
pack.
buying to flip cards, Ham, you're not looking at over time. I'm not
No,
buying a
I'm
card
not. I
today
didn't
and
say
hope
anything
that it
about
goes up
flipping
in 2
cards.
years. Because honestly, stuff goes up in the moment quicker than it does over time. You capitalize
agree.
on hype, you sell.
That's the argument with people selling a good ultra modern card for vintage. This one, the ultra modern, has the highest upside quickly, but also has the highest downside.
Right.
Where this thing's pretty steady.
Right.
It's not really
Yeah,
going
that that's kind of like my motif. I sell the modern stuff and then I take the money and I buy an older card. It's kind of like buying a volatile stock
Yeah.
and then selling it and then putting it into a bond. That's the way I look at it.
How's your crypto doing?
It's doing all right because I
All
bought more. I bought more when it was down.
So did I.
Everything that I bought on Wednesday is up 30 cents a token right now.
Do y'all think, or do y'all have any other ways that can, from what we saw, that the National can improve for next year?
Editorial content. I put it in today's video. I think it's going to probably be.
Yeah, I think the lack of like me going in, and again, I like what the vendors do. I like to see the companies that are. That's the only time I can go talk to a Topps or an eBay or oddly enough, Walmart was there just because they're selling everything. I did notice they were selling Mr. Minty stuff as well, but it's just interesting that that's the only place I get a chance to usually talk to a big company about anything. I can ask some questions. I can talk to people that are actually in charge of shit. You can't do that at any other show that I know of. I don't know if they do that at Burbank or the Expo, but that's pretty much it. So, and for those places to have pretty big presences and be doing some type of a giveaway or event or special for being at the show, that's another benefit.
I think,
and I like that. I think it's fun.
They need the one thing that would round out this show. This is okay. So 15 years ago, I worked a sales job for a company in financial services that put on huge trade shows, and I sold the sponsorships and the exhibit booths and all that fun stuff. Fun job. And it would be like E-Trade or TD Ameritrade, Fidelity. They would be big sponsors of the show. And you would have it broken down to where you have paid workshops, paid speakers, and then you also had editorial educational folks that came in.
Yeah.
And they were flown in by the company, but they weren't paid speakers, but they would come in and they would just be providing educational content around precious metals or whatever it is. But, and for them, for their benefit is they were able to basically market to that audience for free. And then they also had like a paid newsletter or something like that. So that's how they were able to get a benefit from it. But it would be pretty damn sweet if there were breakout rooms at the National. And I think a lot of people would like a break to be able to just because
I agree.
there's a lot of walking. If they had breakout rooms where there's people talking about the history of 52 Tops, set or whatever it is, could be any sort of educational content around different card sets, different players, player
the
cards.
history of the Kaboom.
I think people would really enjoy that, and it would be a nice change of pace. Because right now the National just feels like it's a big marketing event. It's a big sales event. We're here to sell. And there's a lot of focus around that. And look, it's fantastic, but that would be kind of a nice change of pace. I think if they had
that's
that.
Dustin's angle to just try to get on a panel.
I don't want to be on it. No, I don't want to be on it. And frankly, I wouldn't be somebody that is, unless we're talking about maybe like Stranger Things cards. I can be okay. I'll come in and talk about those. I'm not the guy for it, but there's plenty of people out there. Whether it could be just a Michael Jordan collectors panel where you've got 5-6 different Michael Jordan collectors, whether it's high end, midnight, whatever, or mid end, talking about different sets. Why do they buy this one over that one? And I had a comment yesterday. It was today or yesterday. It was basically like, hey, why would they do that when you could just get that content for free on YouTube? But I'm telling you, I don't believe that 90% of the people that are at that show watch YouTube consistently, card YouTube. They might watch it here and there. They might catch us here and there occasionally, whatever, maybe. But I would argue that most people are not on it that are there. So
no, think about it. How many people were supposedly at the National?
125,000.
Okay. I guess they're all tuned in to Jeff only.
But also, who cares if they watch? I mean, okay, so let's say they listen to
No,
Dr.
but that's part of growing the hobby as well as also from a social media standpoint.
No, but listen, so, okay, you listen to Dr. Beckett's Sports Card Insight podcast, but that's cool. But wouldn't it be awesome to see him on stage talking about whatever he wants, whatever that subject is, actually
Was he at the show this year?
I think he's at every single one. I think he is. I didn't see him. Yeah.
Somebody said about they wanted to meet him at Vintage Trade Night because he's usually always at, or a Vintage Night where all the guys Mike's staying. And of course, I got moved all around, and then everybody went different ways. So I don't know. I didn't see him or hear anybody talking about seeing him.
Meanwhile, the chat's still talking about BO.
I have a couple.
To be fair, that was 45 minutes ago.
Yeah. So at 10:16, Cultured Investor has a comment that
all right.
I could answer, and then
let me skip past 400 comments here. Hold on a second.
Also,
Please,
at 10:16,
because we're not paying attention to anyone that you pull up anyway.
Tim asks any vintage test issues. I'm not 100% sure what that question means.
Yes, there were some there. There were some there.
What's that?
Oh,
The test
clear out.
issues?
President's here.
And then
President's here.
And then Johnny V,
What time?
1938 at 10:16. These are all at 10:16.
Hobby President just commented. At
Has
10:20.
something out of the comment. Well, there's that one. So just buy what you feel is fair. It's annoying watching people looking at their phone for every card. It's like people aren't collecting. The dealers are looking at their phones too, checking comps.
Everybody's looking, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I get frustrated when I'm trying to look at a case and there's 3 people looking at a phone and only even one of them's trying to buy and the other 2 are just there to help.
I bought the Walter Payton at the end of the show and he had it marked 1650 and I walked up to the table and made him an offer. He had to pull the comp on his phone to see if he wanted to accept my offer or not. Now, the other thing is that you need to look at these comps because pricing can sometimes be astronomically over. I was looking for a Gaudi 33, a 33 Gaudi Ruth, and I saw one in a PSA 1. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm willing to pay over. I want this card bad enough, but how far over? Right. So I pull up the comps. Comps are at, they could go anywhere between 5,000 to 6,000. 6,000 on a high, good day, 5,000 on a low day in a PSA 1, regardless of the eye appeal. So you're looking at $1,000 buffer. I was willing to probably go 63, 64, which would have been a couple $100 over high comp, but the person had a $7,800 price tag on it. Okay. Regardless of how bad I want the card, unless I'm a millionaire that can just throw money around, I can't just give the asking sticker price. Dealers would just sticker however the hell they wanted, which most of them do anyway, if people just walked up to them without
they
doing the
usually all
research
sticker high,
first.
so yeah.
I don't know what he means by vintage test issues. Do you know?
They were there. They were there. There were some there.
What is that?
It's just a vintage test issue card. So think of a card before you make the main one.
All right, and then Cultured Investor says, who was your favorite individual vendor? His was the Jordan ticket dude on the second floor, 10:16. I like Spin Doctor sports cards because they have good sports stuff and good pop culture. I like RBI Crew. I like their inventory.
RBI Crew, NMC sports cards.
But
RBI Crew is where I got the Gina Davis.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Was asking about that. I thought I stole it. I paid $225 for it.
Our RBI Crew they have good stuff. They have good wrestling, which I like. They have good pop culture, which I like. They have some high-end sports cards. I find that they overprice and they don't like to negotiate down. And I've dealt with them multiple times at the Nationals. That's where I bought my Star Wars card a couple years ago.
I think
They
this
had
is
a
the
lot of,
first year I haven't bought a card from them.
and there was a card that you and I both really liked that they had, and they had a bit of a premium that me and you both agreed on that we thought was a little over.
I just didn't want to pay the grade premium on it. I don't know.
Let's
how
say it. It's okay to
I
say
just didn't
something
want to
bad
pay
about
the
RBI
$50
Crew.
$75.
They were just over. They were over, plain and simple.
That's where
that card was priced too high.
the Kane Undertaker dual auto came from. I got that from them in Cleveland.
Mm-hmm. I'm not saying you can't get a deal from them because, like I said, I did get the Star Wars card from them two Chicagos ago. But
and they were running out of cards at the show. They
Yeah.
weren't really.
They by far and
restocking
away
up. They were
have the
running
best
out.
wrestling inventory, and it's not even close.
anyway, the card that you and I both really liked was, I felt, overpriced, and there was a reason why it was still sitting in their showcase when I left on Sunday. Same with the Babe Ruth that I wanted, that was priced at $7,800 and comping on a good day at $6,000. There's a reason why that card was sitting there on Wednesday night and was still sitting there on Sunday afternoon when I left. Not because it's not a great, awesome card, but because the price was too high. So if you were priced to sell at that National, your cards were selling.
Yeah.
And most of the time, if your card went in the showcase on Wednesday night and that card didn't move on Sunday afternoon, it doesn't mean your card is shit, because most of the cards in their showcases were good. It just means you're not priced to sell.
You didn't
Yeah,
see
it's
this
a
on the
great
show
game.
floor, did you?
No, it's a great card.
You didn't see that on the show floor.
No, there's only what 25 of those.
50, I think. Nope, 25. Good call.
Yeah.
Shout out to Orlando and Mangini in the chat. I just found them now. Now I'm down to their chat
There
from
you
five.
go. Finally made it.
I don't think I ran into Orlando. I think he was one of the few people that I never crossed paths with.
Yeah, I got to see.
I
yeah,
saw him multiple times.
I saw
Yeah.
Orlando. I
He
got
showed
my
his Ty
first.
Cobb.
And I hung out with
Vintage-
Mangini multiple times.
I got to meet the hobby president. That was exciting. We had a good chat on the. I made a brief cameo appearance in Dustin's video with him, and then we talked at the Tiki for a bit.
Well, I talked with Mangini and Clemente Collector and got a good education on Babe Ruth cards, because the 33 Gaudi is what I went there
I like that.
with my heart
Yes,
set on
they-
it. But they explained to me about strip cards and what strip cards are, and how, most of them are marked authentic because they're cut off of a reel and things like that. And don't worry about them only being authentic as opposed to having a number grade. I guess PSA is starting this year to actually put number grades on the strip cards, because I saw some people at the National that had a really nice Babe Ruth and a PSA 3, and they said that originally it was slabbed authentic by PSA, but PSA has now changed the way that they're grading them, so they had it snapped out at the show at this National and graded with a number grade, and it went from authentic to 3, which adds a lot of money in a Babe Ruth card. And a Babe
that
Ruth
is.
strip card to go from authentic to a 3, that's a
It's like
big
a
boost.
3,000% upgrade, real quick.
But yeah, so I got a good. I also got some good knowledge from some of the guys in the vintage game that's more well versed in it than I am on some Babe Ruth stuff.
We also saw Ziggy. All right, I did it, Ziggy. There you go.
We watched Ziggy and Dustin.
Listen, y'all had a very
Take their-
good
take their
emotional
Yeah.
relationship there.
Yeah, Ziggy magically was nice. Was very nice to me in person. That's how it usually goes.
And then they fake a feud for a year, and then they're all kissy at the National.
Ziggy gave me a card. He gave me a gift. So
Yeah.
shout out
I
to
think
Ziggy.
3 of us have it on video.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah, we-
surprised that you sold it that fast, to be honest.
Yeah, it went straight to the auction house.
Big Bri was like, "I'll give you $5."
Oh, you talking about the Willie Mays?
No, the 11 card, the Stranger Things 11 card he gave me.
Oh! I thought you were talking about the Willie Mays because we all know that Dustin bought that because he did want a vintage card, maybe he did want a Willie Mays.
I've
But
been talking
really-
about it all
But
year.
really, he's campaigning for YouTube Hall of Fame, and he's like, if I
You
can,
gotta buy 2
if I
vintage
can
cards.
land,
It's
a
campaign
good
season.
vintage card, man, I'm gonna swing their vote next year.
I forgot it is campaign season.
He's trying to
Hey,
swing
you never
votes.
start too early. No, I've been wanting them. Actually, I wanted a 53 tops maze. I didn't think I was going to be able to afford one there, and the 52 tops just kind of worked out. But yeah, no, I need to diversify more into vintage baseball. So that's by design. I want to get some more of that stuff.
Steve, I was curious. What do you think that Undertaker Kane dual auto goes for now? I just looked. I'm shocked.
I mean, I haven't looked in a while. I'd have to say easily.
Me neither.
I'd probably say a floor or 15.
17.
17 is the
Yeah.
last sale.
There's a 1625, a 1675, and a 17.
Yeah, so
Those are the three 2025 sales.
What are you,
So
what
that
are you
was
using?
the
to
last
find
one
those
sold
ones?
in March.
So I guess
One
on a
hasn't
bad
sold since March.
so I guess on a bad day it would be like 15, and on a good day it could be 2.
And there's not even the only one listed is the one of one.
Who is the hobby first lady? Who's that?
Is there?
No idea.
77 Collectibles said Neo's videos. You walked right past the hobby's first lady twice. No idea.
I'm not sure.
Somebody tell us that.
Test issues. We're usually in a small area to test the sales. Yeah, Neo was way too cool for us for a part of that show. The second he saw the PSA crew, he was out. Second he saw the PSA folks, he was like, "Hey guys, I'll see you tomorrow."
I did get a wrestling card, but it's a custom, but it's a Hall, Nash, and X-Pac triple auto.
That's why I'm interviewing PSA people at midnight for the hot breaking news.
I guess.
For life, because I'm NWO for life. It's not just a catchphrase, boys. For life.
No, Mary Gamble is not hobby anything.
No, it's Alex.
Jeez, Ham, why are you coming so hard on Mary?
That's
What's
what
wrong
they
with Mary?
said.
I've never actually
I mean,
met
I like,
Mary.
I like Alex, but she just jumps around.
Yeah, I have no idea. Vintage dealers are using VCP.
Is that like OPP?
Can you explain it?
There you go.
Yeah, start from the beginning. We have 340 eyeballs according to StreamYard. So thanks for everybody for showing up tonight. We've been pretty hot here lately. We are also running on Twitter as well. Neo and I are also throwing this out on the old X.
So is that 170 viewers?
335 is what I'm looking at right here.
You said
Viewers?
eyeballs, though.
You said eyeballs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, eyeballs, viewers, whatever in the top
You got to
left.
multiply by 2 for eyeballs unless somebody's wearing a patch.
Yeah, I divided by 2,
okay.
and that's got us viewers if we're counting eyeballs.
We got 700 eyeballs then.
There we go.
Okay, 350.
I like the bigger numbers. Don't shortchange us.
Let's
Yeah.
keep it going.
Yeah.
Let's keep it going.
Yeah, so
This is-
from now on, every like that I get on a video, I'm going to count twice because for 2 thumbs.
I would like a 51 Bowman Maze, Mike, but it was more of just kind of taking what the offense has given you. And at that show, it was, there was a lot of expensive 52 tops Maze. I didn't see a lot of 51 Bowman. And then the ones I did see, they were just outside of the price range.
Yeah, I asked you the same question at the show.
I will have a 51 Bowman Maze. It was just, I wanted to go 52 tops or 53 tops first for whatever reasons. Not that I like those cards better necessarily. I love the 51 Bowman too, but
I like the look of the 52 tops better. I do. And that was originally the card that I wanted, remember? And then
Yep.
I actually audibled to the 51 Bowman because I felt like it was harder to find. And I like the fact that it's a rookie card. But
Look
I
at us
do
with all
like the image.
football references. It's
I
almost
do like-
football season. We're audibling out.
Speaking of football season, I sent a message on IG today to the group about re-upping the fantasy football league, and everybody didn't respond yet.
Oh, I left that
I
chat.
responded.
You left that chat?
Yeah,
Ham responded, Jay responded, Cards and Comics responded, Sports Card Lessons responded, Jeff Wilson responded, Neo and Dustin did not respond.
I'm not in it.
Don't make them respond.
I left.
Yeah,
that.
he
On
is
the chat.
Sports Cards hits the like 2 times, so that it likes and then unlikes.
I like it.
When did you want to do that draft? Basically, the next stop centered. Is that
I
essentially?
said August Wednesday the 27th.
Yeah, that should be fine.
That would be 2 off. Not next week.
I'm in town.
Do we just push off center to that? Because don't we usually stream the draft anyway?
Yeah, because I think the next off center will be on the 13th, next week's the 13th, so the next one would be on the 20th. So we'd have to skip 2 weeks unless we just do Off Center on the 20th and do the draft on the 27th.
Yeah, Orlando. I don't know why they signed him. Realistically, we got 4 quarterbacks now.
You guys got Teddy Bridgewater now.
Yeah,
Teddy Two Gloves.
Teddy Two Gloves.
Teddy Two Gloves.
Oh, we could use him back on the Saints with our QB
Yeah,
situation.
but you run by him fast enough, he'll get a concussion.
He had the one injury. Was he with the Vikings where his leg like went over his head and snapped like 7 different ways? He looked like Kermit the Frog out there.
Wait, I feel like he's been in the league for freaking 20 years.
Yeah. Lance just dropping a haymaker over here. Could Neo be any more disconnected from these lives? You have to understand, this is kind of Neo has like a resting frown. That's just kind of, this is the way he is.
I absolutely could. If the Cavs were on, I would be 1,000% more disconnected.
Hey, look.
Yeah. No, dude, if you're sitting with him at the, like, we're sitting at the tiki bar, it's the same thing. It's just, this is Neo's like vibe. This is how it is.
We barely saw Neo at the National. And then we journeyed all the way through Middle Earth to find the ring. We got a card. He made the deal. And then I didn't see him again until trade night. And then I went to trade night and I said, Ham, let's go say bye to Neo. And he was gone.
You'd already said goodbye. You forgot.
I don't remember.
The limousine.
Steve texted me. He's like, "Where'd you go?" And I said, "I left." And he's like, "We didn't say goodbye." And I said, "You came by the table and said goodbye." And he's like,
I said, I'm
"Oh,
going to
I
find
forgot."
him.
Neo
I
just
thought-
peeled out in the limousine as we're running outside to say bye to him.
He said, I'm out of here. My name's Doug, and I'm out of here. Anybody remember that? The State. It was like an old comedy
We went to
show.
lunch together. We did all
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
We did, but I think you sat at the other end of the table. That lunch was a lot of people.
I
so
was
it
right
like-
in the middle. I was dead in the middle of the table at lunch.
Oh,
He was right next to me.
I was on the end.
I was next to Dakota.
I literally got chicken wings the size of a toothpick, and they forgot to bring
Yeah,
my
those
soda.
were tiny.
They tasted really good, but it was kind of like, yeah, it was like
I didn't have any chicken wings while I was there.
Where is Brad Noble in the chat? I thought Brad would be here.
Here's what happens. They win my contest and then
They
they
hang
stop
out.
watching because
Then
they're
they
like,
quit
I got no
cards.
reason to watch anymore because I can't win again.
They quit
Flukes-
cards
Luke
immediately.
stopped coming around.
That's actually a good point.
Yeah,
I didn't see Cam at the National this year. He was there, but he didn't get up with me and say hi. My very first winner, Scott. I haven't seen him in a while.
Everybody leaves the hobby.
Mark's still around. Mark's true, man. Mark's true.
Shout out to Mark's site. Neo be getting peer pressured. Yeah, but
I will not.
Brad Noble had a really strong show. I mean, not
Yeah,
only
he
did he win,
Oh,
but
yeah.
then he sold a bunch of stuff that he wanted to sell. He got he had a really good show.
He
Yeah, he
sold
did.
his entire case and all. And then I took him over to Zion booth and got him a free new case as part of the giveaway. And he walked with a bunch of cash. He bought an 89 score Barry Sanders rookie auto, or auto with a
See, Splendid knows. We looked
See
into
that
each other's
window
eyes
over
in the
there.
back of the Amish buggy.
Brad, did you move any of the Jim Brown rookies?
I did not. Brought them both home with me.
Anybody in the chat, do you feel like you missed out not going to the National this year?
I was at the National, and I feel like I missed out on the National.
We missed so much.
I don't know. I ran all over that place. Like
So
I
did I.
covered the whole.
we
covered
got
the
there
whole damn thing.
Tuesday. Same thing happened as last year. We got there Tuesday, and then Wednesday came, and I was like, "Oh my god, this I feel like I'm gonna be here forever." And then Sunday, man, I was running around like, "Oh my god, I'm almost out of time." Running around and buy this card, get to the airport. But I was ready to come home. Like my feet were hurting. Did so much walking.
I flew my wife in on Saturday just to have her drive home so I could nap on the way home.
You flew
I was
with a
like,
taxi
that's
driver.
what I said. I was like, Dio's wife came in Saturday and they left Sunday. I was like, she flew in for dinner and then they left.
She doesn't like the National. Comic-Con
Dinner
she's
and
all
trade
about,
night.
but the National she's whatever on.
George R.R. Martin is going to be at that Comic-Con in New York.
Yeah. Are you guys coming? Can we get commitment? Or
I started
are the
looking
Four
at
Horsemen going to come together for NYCC?
I would like
looking
to.
at it too. That's my birthday weekend as well. So I'm
Let's
trying to
go,
clear with
boys.
the wife.
Yeah, it'd be
Oh,
fun.
it's your birthday weekend?
Yeah, my
I
birthday.
was thinking about.
You don't have to come for the whole 4 day. 4 day passes are already sold out unless you buy in the secondary market, but you could still
We
get.
can't get a media pass to that.
No, media passes to New York Comic Con are impossible.
Look, man, like 5 people knew me at the National. Nobody's going to know me at the Comic Con.
I applied for a New York Comic Con pass a few years ago, and the
3 of them were you
requirements were
guys.
like minimum 250,000 followers on social.
We can buy those.
That's true.
Yeah, but they're not like comic book YouTubers.
Yeah,
You know,
it's also way past the application deadline.
Yeah, that's a different scale.
I'll probably go to that because I can just take a day or 2 off because
We'll be there all week because we have. other
honestly,
stuff
I could
going
take the
on.
afternoon. Like I wouldn't even need to stay the night if I just wanted to.
We
go
get
for
into
one
New
day.
York on Tuesday and leave on Monday.
Like New York's easy for me.
You're going from Tuesday to Monday?
Well, we'll leave Monday morning or Sunday, maybe, possibly. I don't know for sure yet.
There's Mark. There he is.
Yep, there he is, Mark. Good job.
Let me skip ahead to find him. Boom. Mark's the man. He's here in North Carolina with me.
I definitely broke 37,000 steps. I
Oh,
think I
yeah,
was
easily.
averaging like 12 to 15K a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know how you
I
can
have
tell
no
is
idea.
we weren't really eating well. Like it's not like we were like watching the diet, but I didn't gain a pound. Like I was actually, I got back.
Anyway.
Yeah, I didn't gain any
Dude, my
weight.
legs
think
were
I
like
did.
dough every night.
I think I gained like 8 pounds. Either that or my scale.
Pounds of muscle. Well, you're at the gym, Steve, so that's different.
Yeah. You know how long it takes to put on like 2 pounds of lean muscle?
Especially at our age.
A lot harder than it is to put on 10 pounds of fat. Ham, how many days were you sore? Ham was a trooper, though. He went to the gym with me. He was a little sore the next
I was
day,
sore
and
for a
then
couple.
more
I was
sore the
definitely
second
like
day.
3 or 4 days.
Yeah,
I
Ham's
told you
always,
day 2 it was going to hit you the hardest.
Oh, it hit day 3 when I woke up and I went to extend my arm, and then this piece right here. Oh my god! I thought I was gonna rip my arm in half. It's horrible.
Oh, in your elbow joint or in your?
Yeah.
Flexor
Holy
here?
shit, man! I was like, I broke
was-
something.
Yeah, it's because it was bicep day, man.
I know.
all right, boys. 97 minutes in. I feel like we're at a good part here. We're 332 strong in the chat, or eyes, let's say. 650 eyeballs watching. So we will probably wrap up here soon. Any final words from anybody as we wrap up our national extravaganza? Steve, are you going to take a 2-month hobby vacation like you normally do after the national to recharge, or are you feeling like you're in the game?
No, my vacation is usually before the national. And then I get recharged at the national, and then I come out ready to talk my game for the next, the next cycle. So again, I do want to put out a video wrapping up the national, but not a traditional one. I just want to talk about the same stuff. Basically, I just want to debunk like the five things that everybody said it was so bad about the national or why you shouldn't go. And again, it's all opinionated, but I think a lot of stuff is exaggerated also. So just kind of wanted to, debunk some of that shit.
Don't worry, everybody. We'll have the off-centered swimsuit calendar will be coming soon. So make sure you save up. It won't be a cheap calendar. We're putting a lot of effort and money into it.
I'm just going to start talking to Daisy in my videos. Like when I was kind of like talking to you guys in the Airbnb, you kind of weren't even like around, but I was still kind of like talking to you. So it was like almost like I was cutting promos at the beginning of my videos this time around. But
shout out Kelly Rip and List. It is live. Good to meet you out there, man.
Brandon,
Yeah,
Rip and
real
List.
live, not fake live.
Tiki.
Rip and List. Rip and List.
I saw
I
that.
hate when people put live on the thumbnail and you go to it. It's definitely not live.
Off-centered for its eye appeal. That's right. The swimsuit calendar. Watch out, swimsuit calendar. It's going to be all the rage.
it makes me want to peel my eyes off.
I'm gonna wear that same thing Borat wore in the movie.
All right, I think that's a perfect ending point right there. Ham, you nailed it.
Man,
All right, guys, we'll
Way to
be
go,
back
Ham.
in 2 weeks for another off-centered show and a fantasy football draft that we'll have coming up here
Let's say
soon.
2 or 3 weeks. Are we just going to push off center to the football draft, or are we going to do back-to-back weeks?
Yeah,
Well,
we
see,
can,
the football draft won't be like a traditional off-centered, so we should probably do our traditional off-centered.
yeah. Ham's like, or Neo's like, damn it. I wanted
Or
to
that, or
win.
we can even see if we can have some of the other guys on during the draft.
Sometimes we do. Jeff sometimes comes on.
Yeah,
and we
Jeff
can
Jeff popped on
rotate.
from like his kid's soccer game last time or
Yeah,
something.
anybody
crazy.
who wants to stop on.
Jeff was committed. Yeah, he popped on. Yeah, I mean,
Filmican has to. He's a defending champ. He has to stop by.
he'll probably be too cool.
Filming's like a ghost. He just only does Patreon content for spitballing.
He's behind a paywall at all
Yeah,
times.
we have to charge to have him come on. We have to pay an appearance fee.
So when he is in the fantasy football league, is he just representing Filmican or is he representing Spitball and Cards? Because if so, then it's not fair that he won because that's like
Oh,
4
there he is.
people.
Oh, Filmington in the chat.
That's like 4 people on the same team.
Speak of the devil, and he appears. Bill, the defending
not, Bill.
champion.
I did not.
Yeah, the Rona is definitely still a thing floating around.
David.
I front kissed it, baby.
Yeah, we avoided it.
And now I'm drinking soup out of a Hello Kitty bowl wearing this shirt.
Not today.
You don't
That's
look
what
too
it
bad,
is.
man.
Yeah, you're faking it, Ham.
Oh yeah,
Faking.
I'm faking. No, I'm not faking that off.
Jesus. All right, boys. It's an hour 40. It's almost 11, and we got to get up early here on the EST. So everybody, thank you for joining again for another episode. We will be back in 2 weeks, and we might be going back to back to do the fantasy football draft, where my New Orleans Saints get ready to draft Arch Manning next year.
Spencer Rattler, round 1.
Spencer Rattler. Let's go. All right.
Night.
See you next time.
See it.